Hari Om. I welcome you all to yet another lecture on data mining and data warehousing course. We are currently in the fifth module. We are talking about the best splitting criteria and the best splitting attribute while constructing the decision tree. So we have discussed all these points in our previous video where we have seen one of the classifier model generated is the decision tree, and for constructing the decision tree the very important point is to select the best splitting attribute, or you call it as most determining attribute. And we have seen an example of how out of these two attributes which becomes the best classifier. Based on that the decision tree was constructed. And we have also seen to select the best possible split we use two measures or two functions. One is information gain, the other one is Gini index. So in our last video we discussed what is information gain, and since information gain works on the concept of entropy, we discussed what is entropy also, and this is the formula for calculating the entropy value, and this is the expansion of this particular formula. And in the context of decision tree, the entropy gives the measure of the message to be either in class 1 or class 2 if you have only two classes. Otherwise, if you have n number of classes, the entropy gives the measure of the message to be in any one of the classes from C1 to Cn. So that is what is defined here. The entropy value, how to calculate. So if I want to calculate the entropy value, I need the probability distribution of the partitions or the classes C1 to Cn. So using this probability distribution, we calculate the entropy value, which is nothing but information of T. T is the given data set. If you have 100 records classified into 40, 30, 30 records of C1, C2, C3 classes, then this is the entropy value. We had seen all these points in a previous video. And another very important point we discussed was the information for a partition on a particular attribute X. The attribute must be a non-class attribute, and if you partition the given data into n number of sets, subsets, then the information for a partition on an attribute X must be a non-class attribute, will be calculated like this. We had seen this also in our previous video, and this example we discussed in our previous video. So the 100 records are now classified into two subsets, are partitioned into two subsets S1 and S2 with 60 and 40 records each. If so, how do we calculate the entropy value? So this is the entropy value of the data set after segmentation on a particular splitting attribute. So if you have calculated the info of x comma t and info of t, then we can easily calculate the information gain due to a split on a particular attribute called x. The formula is gain of x comma t is equal to info of t minus info of x comma t. So just to understand how this information gain is calculated, we took this particular example in our previous video, and we had calculated the entropy value for this data set. This is our given training data set, and this is the class attribute, and these are the non-class attributes. So for the class attribute, what is the frequency table? This is the frequency table or frequency distribution for the class attribute, and the entropy value was calculated with this particular formula. Then we had also seen how the entropy value can be calculated for one class attribute and one non-class attribute. So this is the frequency table generated for the one class attribute. What is the class attribute here? It is the play golf is the class attribute, and this is the non-class attribute. So if you try to partition the data on this particular attribute, you will get the frequency distribution like this. So out of 14 records, if I partition the data based on Outlook attribute, then 5 records will have sunny as its value, 4 records will have overcast as its value, 5 records with rainy as its value, and out of 5 records, 3 comes under S value of the class attribute and no value of the class attribute with 2 values. Then out of 4 overcast records, all the 4 are coming under S category and 0 coming under no category. And out of 5 attributes here, 2 coming under S and 3 coming under no. If so, how do you calculate the entropy value, which is nothing but info of x comma t. So to calculate the information gain of Outlook, we apply this formula and we get the information gain as this value. The same way, if we calculate the information gain for the non-class attribute temperature, it will be like this, and for humidity it is this one, and for windy this is going to be the attribute value of information gain. So since the information gain for this particular value, information gain for Outlook attribute is the highest, then we can decide this can be the best splitting attribute. So we choose this as the best splitting attribute, and thereby we generate the decision tree with Outlook as the node for splitting, and we split with these 3 outcomes, and by the time we get this number of values. And as you see, overcast is having all the records same, so this becomes a homogeneous node, and for the homogeneous node always the entropy value will be 0, so we stop the splitting here for overcast. Whereas for sunny and rainy, they are having the splitting attribute as to be found, because these are having both S class as well as no class here. So again, out of temperature, humidity and windy, we are going to check which can be the best splitting attribute. Thereby, by calculating the information gain of temperature, humidity and windy, windy is going to give you the highest information gain. So for these 5 records, I'll take windy as the best splitting attribute, and I go for splitting the data into true or false, like yes or no partition. If you start the decision tree constructor, Outlook will be the root node, and windy and humidity is going to be then the final decision tree look like this, and for which the classification rules can be derived from this decision tree, and these will be the classification rules. And we had also discussed in our previous video, instead of just having information gain, we can also have gain ratio, because information gain value tends to favor attributes that have only larger domain. So if you have larger domain, information gain works well, whereas if the attribute, suppose say for example, any attribute of your data set has distinct value for each record. Suppose you have 10 records in your training data, each record is having a different value for a particular attribute, then obviously info of x comma t is going to be 0. So by the time information gain cannot be used as an evaluation measure for the best split. So to compensate this, Quinlan suggests the gain ratio, which can be calculated like this. So if you have the gain ratio calculated like this, then whichever is giving you the highest gain ratio, that can be selected as the best splitting attribute. So gain ratio works well even if we have a smaller domain for a particular attribute. That is the advantage of gain ratio. Now another interesting evaluation measure for the best split is the Gini index, is the simplest one, right? Instead of using the information gain with lots of log values, right? So we have in the formula, we have this logarithm value to be considered in the information gain, but Gini index is simpler than the gain index or gain ratio. Let us see how Gini index works. So another evaluation measure for best split is Gini index, and the Gini index is a diversity measure from economics. So it is completely based on the diversity measure. Here, we had seen in our previous video, information gain is based on the entropy measure. The same way Gini index is based on the diversity measure from economics. So we should understand what is diversity index or diversity measure. It is also called as Simpson's diversity index. It is a quantitative measure that reflects how many different types there are in a data set. So for understanding how many different types there are in a data set, the quantitative measure is used. That quantitative measure is what you call as diversity measure. So how in a group, how many different objects are there, or in a data set how many variants are available, how many different data points are available. If you want to understand, then we can use the diversity index. This is just an history of diversity index. You can simply go through that, because it was actually introduced by Simpson to understand the classification of species actually. Then the same was used by the economist Hirschman, and thereby the same measure is used in economics also. So the what is used in economics, the diversity measure that is used in economics was used as a base for our Gini index value. You can just go through this history of how the diversity measure was introduced, or who introduced diversity measure. Now if you take this diversity measure, it is actually the probability that two entities taken at random from the data set of interest represent the same type. So if you draw two entities from the data set, and if you want to calculate the probability of these two entities representing the same type, then this is the formula used for that, and this is taken as the base measure for our Gini index. So here the formula is sigma I is equal to 1 to r pi square, where pi is the probability of the element to be in the ith class, probability of an element or a data point to be in the ith class. Okay, so here R is the total number of types or total number of classes in the data set. Now using this as the base, let us see how to calculate the Gini index value to evaluate the goodness of split or the best split. The Gini index is defined like this. Gini of t is equal to 1 minus the diversity measure value, right? So we had seen this is the diversity measure formula, and this formula is used to calculate the Gini index. So for any training data set T, 1 minus diversity measure will be the Gini index. So here T is the data set and C is the number of classes in the data set, C classes, and Pi is the relative frequency of class I, or you call it as probability of class I. Okay. So if an attribute divides the data set T into T1 and T2, then the Gini index of the divided data on an attribute X is given like this. Okay. So this is the Gini index for the whole data set, Okay. Whereas this formula is the Gini index of the divided data on an attribute X. As you calculate info of T and info of X comma T. Info of T is the entropy value for the whole data set, whereas info of X comma T is the entropy value when the data set T is divided on an attribute X. The same way, here Gini of T gives you the Gini index for the whole data set, and whereas Gini of X comma T here, Gini of T based on an attribute X, is equal to this particular formula, N1 divided by N into Gini of T1, N2 divided by N into Gini of T2, where N1 is the number of records of the partition T1, N2 is the number of records of partition T2, right? So when you divide T on an attribute X, you get two partitions T1 and T2, and in T1 you have N1 number of records, and in T2 you have N2 number of records. So this is how we calculate the Gini index of the divided data on an attribute X. Okay. Now for this particular example, this is the example we had taken for our information gain. So for this particular example, the frequency distribution is like this, right? We had already seen this. If you are going to split the data on the attribute outlook, the frequency is like this. Okay. So if so, let us see what is the Gini index for the entire training data or the whole data set, and what is the Gini index when you split the data on outlook. Okay. So Gini index of T is equal to 1 minus sigma Pi square. Okay. So what is Pi? To how many records are in class 1, how many records are in class 2. So for this data we have only two classes, correct? Yes and no, only two classes. So 9 records are having yes, 5 records are having no. So 9 by 14 will be the probability of an element to be in class 1. 5 by 14 will be the probability of an element to be in class 2. Okay. So 1 minus P1 square and P2 square, this is the value of the Gini index for the whole data set. Now the Gini index due to splitting on the attribute outlook will be calculated like this. So you will have Gini based on the attribute X, right? So this formula. So outlook of T is equal to N1, right? So since we have 3 partitions, here for the 2 partition we have written the formula like this. If it is 3 partition, then N1 by N into Gini of T1, N2 by N into Gini of T2, N3 by N into Gini of T3. Then now we have 3 partitions, correct? T1, T2, T3. So first partition is having only 5 records, so 5 by 14. So N1 is 5. Second partition is having 4 records, so N2 is 4 by N, and third partition is having 5 records, so 5 by 14. N3 is 5 here. So N1 by N into Gini of T1, n2 by n into Gini of T2, n3 by n into Gini of T3. Okay, so this is how the Gini index value will be calculated, and the best splitter here will be determined as the attribute which has the smallest Gini value. So like this you will calculate the Gini of outlook, you will calculate the Gini of temperature, Gini index of humidity, Gini index of windy. Out of all these four attributes, the Gini index of outlook will be the smallest. So we can take outlook as the first best splitting attribute for constructing the decision tree. And again you repeat this process until you get no more splitting possible, or all the records in a particular node are all homogeneous. So this is how Gini index can be used for evaluating the measure of the best splitting attribute. Okay, so these are the features of Gini index. It favors larger partitions and it uses squared proportion of classes. We have seen pi square, and perfectly classified, that is homogeneous node, will have the Gini index as 0, and the Gini index for evenly distributed data will be 1 minus 1 divided by total number of classes, and this split the data on the attribute that has the low Gini index. And the Gini index, unlike information gain, is not computationally intensive as it does not involve the logarithm function. So these are some of the features of the Gini index. Okay. So with that we are completing how to find out the best splitting attribute. Now we are left with how to evaluate the best splitting criteria. Right? So if you want to have the binary decision tree, you want to have true false category, or you want to have yes or no category, or if you want to have only the binary splitting, then how do you find out the best splitting criteria if you have more than two values or continuous values or categorical attribute? So for which we need to find out the best splitting criteria. So we'll be discussing how to evaluate the best splitting criteria in our next video. Thank you.